Got all of our Abeka books in for the 11th grade class. My son is going into his junior year, and we have picked out our electives, and we have received our shipment. So let's open these up, and you can see what you would get for your regular subjects, and then you can see what Peyton has picked out for his electives. I am still waiting on my daughter's 9th grade year and 4th grade and 1st grade. I believe I've shown 1st grade before in the past from Colton, but I'll show that again, and they do update ever so often. But anyway, so this is a fresh video of the 11th grade year. Okay, so this is the first box. Why don't you go ahead and cut that, sis, and we'll open it up. Okay, so for his readers, they have, so far we have the Scarlet Letter. You want to go ahead and open up some other boxes, and we'll just pull out the books and show them here. Okay, so we have the Scarlet Letter. Then we have his grammar, his handbook of grammar and composition. And that's kind of what it looks like inside for that. And then his American literature, classics for Christians. Get you a couple of pages here. And here, American Singing. Very neat. Okay. His vocabulary, spelling, and poetry 5. So we've got the teacher keys and then the student book. Okay. And then we have this. That would be his little workbook. Okay, so that was out of the first box. It did come with the answer key for that. And then it's a little list of what should be in that box. Okay, so next we have geometry. And his chemistry. Oh, and they always send these envelopes. If you do accredited, they send these envelopes so they are, pre-addressed. And that way you can send in the tear-outs in the back with their tests and stuff to be graded by Abeka. We have done accredited for their high school years, and even though we live in Indiana, that way they will actually have a diploma from Florida, but through Abeka. Let's actually open up this. Let me show you guys what this looks like a little bit. So, getting into geometry there. That is a little sneak peek into that. And then his chemistry. There's your little sneak peek into that. And then we have United States History, Heritage of Freedom. Let's show some of this. 13 original colonies. Federalist era. A growing nation. Progressive era. There you go. So that would be his United States history. There's the chemistry answer key. Sorry, I have a cold. I keep having to clear my throat. This is the American Literature Test and Quizzes key. This is the geometry test and quizzes. So the quizzes are normally 10 questions. Then you have your tests. And the answer keys for those. And the test for his history. Okay, Jesus and his followers. This would be the Gospels. This would be his Bible class. This is the teacher key. This is Science Project Guide. Let's show you a little bit of this. Experimentation. Gives you some little samples. Walks you through that. This is his vocabulary manual for Spanish 1. This was one of his electives. This is required that you have a language, so he is doing it now. My daughter is actually doing that this year too, so even though she's in 9th grade and my son is in 11th, they will both be doing this together. So, oh, I didn't show the inside of that book. Let me see that real quick, so they can kind of have an idea of how it's taught. As you can see, I love how they teach this. Obviously, unless a child is, or an adult, is putting the effort in, they're not going to walk away speaking Spanish fluently off of Spanish 1, but it is all in how much effort you're going to put into it. Here is the other book here, showing you how to say those sounds. Go through here. Okay, so that would be his Spanish. These are his chemistry quizzes and his spelling quizzes. Let me show you. Most quizzes are just 10 questions, and so, but for spelling, obviously, it's a little bit more than that. I assume chemistry probably will be, yep, 10 questions. Oh, that one's 10 too. Then we have the teacher keys. When you do online video and you choose tuition and books, you get the whole set. So you get the teacher keys, the student books, and the video manuals and so forth. You can choose to do just tuition if you already have the books. But it doesn't really save you that much money. I've tried to do it that way, thinking, well, maybe I can get the books cheaper, used. You really, excuse me, end up coming out right about the same. So you're not really saving all that much money. Okay, so more of this Spanish here. Spanish hymn book. And this student test book. This is his Spanish test book. And then Sing His Praises, so another hymn book. We have several of these. I love the hymn book, especially if you have a student. My daughter is taking piano classes, so that is lovely for her to be able to have. Okay, so this is new. Excuse me. We haven't had discs or anything sent to us yet, so this will be the first time we've been able to use any kind of discs. And these are the chapel messages. So this is the Bible Preserved from Satan's Attack. So it is obviously talking about how the Bible has been preserved throughout the ages and how God has kept it for us. And there you have the Gospels, Jesus and his followers. There's the contents. And then into the lessons. See if I can't open this better for you. Life management under God. I believe this was his elective. And the teacher test key for Spanish. That was in the second box. Okay, so we have his workbook for grammar. Just as you have already seen, if you have a student in Abeka, pretty standard there. This is Spanish 1B, so the other book was 1A. This is 1B. Life Management Under God tests. This is workbook. This is the teacher key. Of course, you get all your video manuals, so I don't really need to show you this. And a video manual, if you haven't done online, we'll go through that class, and then it will give you your daily guide. So it's going to tell you what all you're going to do in that class for that day. And then in the back, this is if you do accredited. In the back, they usually, well, not in this one. So there'll be another manual for chemistry that I'll have. This is the video manual. They might have it, I think it might be a teacher's manual. And in the back, and if I grab one here, I'll show you. In the back, it will have the papers that you tear out to fill out to send in with their tests for Abeka to grade. So tests for American literature, pretty standard. This is chemistry laboratory manual. These report sheets. And so forth. Another test key. Tests, plane geometry. There you go. So very excited about that. Another test. Now all these would be the test keys and quizzes. Another key. Life management key. Tests for chemistry. A lot of teachers' books here, and they're getting caught together. Chemistry manual. So hopefully this one has, okay, so this is the U.S. History 11 manual. Let's see if it has it in the back. But as lesson 58 is going to tell you what you're doing that day, lesson 61, so forth and so on. And then in the back, no, it doesn't have this one either. So I need to get all my manual books out so I can find out where the papers are. There's a manual for New Testament. Teacher's Guide for Spanish. Teacher's Guide for U.S. or United States History. And then, okay, so here's one. This is the chemistry home teacher material. So it's in these books. So you'll have your first sheet right here. You would fill this out with student ID, your account number, all the information, give them the grades they got for the quizzes. Most of the time you're going to have to grade everything anyway, but they do request that you send in tests and exams, just not the quizzes. And you'll both sign, you and the student, and send them in. And then they give you this, let me show you. This would be for the first grading period, and they have a date if you're on accredited that has to be in by. And then they give you a copy of it for the home teacher. So this would be my copy. I'd fill this out, and then I could fill this out and keep for myself because I have to send that one in. So that is how that works. Glad I grabbed one of those and was able to show you that. Okay, and then just more manuals. And then I think this is the last, yep, the last bit of books that we have here. And it looks like these are all manuals. So you would have a manual for each class. And if for my children could have done it where they can just look and keep these books to themselves, but they have requested this year that I give them a
a calendar that has everything they do for that day in it. That way they don't have to have, 20 different manuals out for different things. Life management manual, Spanish manual, U.S. history manual, plain geometry, English, and then the solution key for geometry. Yes, I will need that. So, and then they give you your paperwork to be able to make sure you can check off all the books that you're supposed to have that were supposed to be sent to you. Abeka is extremely good about making sure they send you all the material. If not, they make sure they send it to you quickly if there's something missing. But I would always go through that list, because it is not an uncommon thing that a book just be missing, just didn't get put in. So always keep the little paper that you get and go through all your little checklists of, okay, well, I've got the handbook, I've got the workbook, I've got the American literature book, and check them all off that you got them, so you know, and you don't have to find out in the middle of school, in the middle of class, oh my gosh, I don't have this book, I was supposed to have this book. So I would always go through your checklist. And that is all for our unboxing of 11th grade. Thanks.